Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and bring you these really compelling nuggets of knowledge from our sources. Today, we are diving into one single idea, but it's incredibly insightful. It could really reshape how you think about interacting with people. It comes from a great source called The Power of Mirroring Behavior. And our mission today, well, it's pretty straightforward. Really understand this core concept. Mirror people. Reflecting others' behavior disarms them. Sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But the impact, wow, it's profound.
It genuinely is, yeah. What's so powerful about that statement is it's not just some, behavioral tip. It's actually a profound shortcut. A shortcut to understanding fundamental social dynamics and, really importantly, how to build genuine connection quickly. It gets right into the psychology behind our interactions, reveals this almost instinctual human response that, while it becomes incredibly powerful once you grasp how it works, we're basically learning to tap into our own social wiring.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. When we talk about reflecting others' behavior, my first thought goes to, is this just copying?
Yeah.
Plain old mimicry. Like a kid copying a parent. Because if it's that obvious, it feels like it could be. Well, awkward, maybe even insincere. What's the real nuance?
That's a really great question. And you've hit the absolute crucial point there. It is absolutely not about blatant, overt mimicry. Definitely not. Think less, parrot maybe, and more. Harmonious resonance, yeah. Reflecting behavior is subtle. It's an almost unconscious alignment with someone else's mannerisms. It's this attunement that happens, below the surface of conscious thought. A gentle echo, not a direct copy. You're just letting your own actions subtly match theirs. It creates a sense of being in sync, but without obviously imitating them.
Okay, so it's really subtle cues we're talking about. What kinds of behaviors then? What are we actually observing and reflecting? Because behavior, that's pretty broad.
It is broad, yeah. We're looking at a whole spectrum, really. A spectrum of cues that signal comfort and connection, so non-verbally. Imagine someone leans forward a bit when they're really engaged. You might subtly mirror that posture. Maybe just lean in a fraction yourself. Doesn't have to be identical. Or gestures. If they use their hands a lot when talking, you might find yourself naturally using yours a bit more later on. Not straight away, but it happens. It can be the pace of their movement, their facial expressions, like returning a subtle smile, or even eye contact patterns. If they tend to hold eye contact a little longer, you might find yourself doing the same. Naturally, of course, not like a staring contest.
Right. And what about the verbal side? Is it just what we say, or is it more how we say it?
Oh, it's definitely more about the show. Much more. This isn't about, repeating their words back to them. That would be weird. Instead, it's about reflecting their tone of voice, their speaking pace, their general energy level. Like if someone's speaking really calmly, deliberately, measured tone, you probably wouldn't jump in talking super fast and excited, right? It wouldn't quite fit.
Yeah.
You might even find over a longer chat, you subtly pick up similar words or phrasing, often without even realizing it. That's just a sign of really deep listening, being attuned.
So the key word here really is subtle. It has to be subtle. It's not putting on an act. It's not imitation for manipulation. It's more like, like you said, genuine attunement, almost like dancing together without thinking about the steps. How important is that authenticity part for this whole thing to actually work?
Oh, it's absolutely vital, yeah. If it feels forced or, fake, it'll backfire completely. It can actually create distrust instead of rapport. The real power of mirroring is in its authenticity. It's about being truly present, deeply listening, not just with your ears, but with your whole awareness, taking in what the other person is conveying verbally and non-verbally. When that alignment happens naturally, because you are genuinely engaged, that's when it works. That's when it builds real connection. It's really about opening yourself up to meet them where they are at that moment.
That makes so much sense. Okay, now, this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. That phrase, disarms them. That sounds quite powerful. It doesn't sound aggressive like a battle, but it sounds like something profound is happening socially. What does disarm actually mean here?
You're spot on. It has absolutely nothing to do with conflict or aggression. Zero. In this context, being disarmed just means, lowering someone's guard. Reducing that natural defensiveness or suspicion that, let's face it, we all carry into new situations sometimes, or challenging ones. It's about creating a deep sense of comfort, of safety in that interaction. When someone feels disarmed, they feel secure. Secure enough to be more open, maybe a bit more vulnerable, more willing to connect for real. It's like they're taking off that invisible armor people often wear,
Okay, so when I'm following this, it's basically breaking down those initial walls we put up when meeting someone new, or maybe in a tricky conversation, making them feel secure enough to kind of drop their guard. Is that the core of it?
Precisely, yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the reason reflecting behavior works like this, it's rooted deep in our psychology. You could even say our evolutionary wiring. When people see their own behavior subtly mirrored, even if they don't consciously notice it, it taps into something really ancient within us. It's not just feeling understood on the surface. It's like an unconscious signal saying, you're safe here, you're one of us. This kind of primal recognition of similarity, it bypasses our conscious defenses. It builds a connection based on that evolutionary drive for, tribal belonging, safety in numbers. It's like a shortcut past the usual social filters straight to a feeling of trust.
Oh, that's fascinating. So our brain is basically going, okay, this person moves like me, sounds kind of like me, they're part of my tribe, they're safe.
Yeah.
It just skips the logical analysis and goes for that gut feeling of connection. Have you ever had a moment like that yourself? So sort of light bulb moment where you saw this play out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I remember a meeting years back. It was with a very senior executive known for being quite formal, stern, very deliberate in how they spoke. Now, my natural style, especially when I get excited about something, is to talk quite quickly. But in that meeting, I made a conscious effort to slow my pace, gave longer pauses, matched their more measured eye contact. And the difference in how receptive they became was, well, it was palpable. You could feel it. It felt less like I was trying to, sell them something or impress them, and more like we were actually thinking together on the same page. It genuinely seemed to melt away some of that initial transactional feeling, allowed for a much more collaborative discussion. It's a really powerful lesson, I think, in meeting people where they are instead of just expecting them to adapt to your style.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that feeling, even just in casual chats. Sometimes you meet someone and there's just this instant click, a sense of ease you can't quite put your finger on. You just think, wow, we really gelled. And now I'm wondering, how much of that was maybe down to subtle unconscious mirroring happening on both sides? It really is like this hidden language of connection that's going on all the time.
It absolutely is. It really is. It's that silent handshake, isn't it? That unspoken agreement that says, hey, we're on the same wavelength here. And once you become aware of it, you start seeing it everywhere. I mean, think about how kids often mirror their parents, or how close friends sometimes start using similar phrases or gestures. It's a totally natural drive towards connection.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've explored reflecting others' behavior and how it disarms them by tapping into these deep psychological roots. But how can understanding this power of mirroring behavior actually be useful in your day-to-day life? How do we take this from just an interesting idea to something practical?
Right. This is where it gets really powerful and applicable in so many situations. Understanding mirroring and then learning to subtly and genuinely practice it, it can be transformative. Imagine, say, building rapport with new people. Could be a new colleague, a potential client, even just someone you meet at a party. By being attuned to their cues, their nonverbal signals, their verbal style, you can create that sense of comfort and trust much faster. It makes the whole interaction smoother, more positive right from the get-go. Can make a huge difference in that critical first impression.
Yeah, I can totally see how that would shift the dynamic straight away. Instead of just worrying about what you're going to say next, you're actually meeting them energetically, even physically, kind of where they are.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also incredibly useful for de-escalating tension in those difficult conversations we all have sometimes. If someone is agitated, for instance, now you don't mirror their anger, obviously, but subtly matching their energy level, maybe their pace, that can actually make them feel heard and understood, which is often the absolute first step needed to calm things down. You're showing them non-verbally, I'm with you in this intensity, not I'm against you. Because if you come in with a totally different energy, say super calm when they're agitated sometimes, that can accidentally make things worse, feel dismissive.
I could create a disconnect.
That's a really profound thought, because often our gut instinct might be to counter high energy or tension with extreme calmness, but maybe that can feel dismissive to the other person. So meeting their intensity but not their negative emotion, that sounds like a smarter approach. It often is, yes. And beyond just de-escalation, this technique really enhances empathy and understanding in personal life, professional life, all interactions. When you consciously tune into someone else's patterns, you just become more present, more aware of their emotional state, their communication style, and that level of engagement, it naturally creates a more comfortable, more open space for dialogue, allows for richer, more meaningful conversations. It's really about being more present for the other person, which in turn deepens your own understanding too.
That's a crucial point. It's not just about what they get out of it, but what you gain as well. That deeper understanding, being more present yourself. So just to be absolutely clear then, we're talking about a tool for genuine connection here, right? This isn't some kind of, I don't know, social manipulation tactic.
Precisely. That's critical. The power of mirroring lies only in its authentic use for connection. It is not a manipulative trick. It's all about building genuine rapport, genuine understanding, not about deceiving someone or trying to get them to do something they wouldn't normally do. Think of it as an act of deep listening and presence, a tool for empathy, not some kind of performance designed to fool anyone. It's about opening a real channel for communication.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. So it's not about becoming some kind of chameleon, losing yourself. It's about being more present, more tuned to others, meeting them where they are, to foster deeper, more harmonious interactions. It's not about changing who you fundamentally are, but enhancing how you genuinely connect as who you are.
Exactly. It's about expanding your capacity for connection, allowing for communication that's more fluid, more effective, and ultimately, yeah, more fulfilling. It really is a fundamental part of human social intelligence.
So let's just quickly recap that core takeaway from the power of mirroring behavior. Mirror people. Reflecting others' behavior disarms them. It's a simple statement, yes, but as we've talked about, its impact can be genuinely profound, fostering connection, understanding, trust in pretty much every part of your life.
And maybe here's a final thought, something provocative for you to take into your day. The next time you find yourself in any conversation, work, home, wherever, just take a moment. Observe. Notice the subtle stuff, the nuances of connection unfolding, how people move, their tone, their expressions. And then just wonder, how might consciously tuning into those behaviors and then subtly, genuinely reflecting some of them, how might that open up totally new avenues for understanding, for rapport, not just for them, but for you as well? It's really an exercise in presence, and it can truly transform how you interact with the world.
Such a powerful idea to carry with you. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. Start noticing this phenomenon in your own interactions. See how it might just shift things. Until next time, stay curious.